So, coming towards 7:45 in the Clyde Auditorium. 122 kilos to be loaded on the bar, to be prepared for the lifter from Sri Lanka. This is Romesh Samara, and he is the man who finished 9th place in Delhi just 4 years ago. He's going to get us underway. And on paper, this is the man who doesn't seem to have made any great gains over the last 4 years. But as I said, this is not his strongest discipline. We'll look to see him in better form in the clean and jerk. But nonetheless, he's got to try and collect as many kilos as he can. In a sense, this first part for him is damage limitation.
That's a very good point. He's really just trying to gain every kilogram he can over the people that have that stronger result in the snatch. And he doesn't want to get left behind. You can see that was a very solid first attempt.
Yeah, very comfortable indeed.
Also important to note, we had 3 athletes that are still on the scoreboard that all did more than this in the snatch portion of the competition earlier this morning.
Indeed. Well worth just recounting the story of the B group. It was won, the B division, by Daryl Conrad of Canada, who took 133 kilos in the snatch, added 165 in the clean and jerk to 298, and is tonight's leader in the clubhouse. So if we just revert to concentrating on the snatch, 133, that has to be surpassed before we have a new leader in the snatch division. Just a reminder, there are no medals for the individual disciplines, only the overall gold, silver and bronze. So 126 kilos. Nobody else wanted that weight, although the man from Samoa is lurking to come in, perhaps on just a kilo more. But this man has still got 1 minute and 45 seconds to come out. And this is Samara Saqqara. And this is his team working with him.
You can see he had the towel over his head as he was sitting there, really just trying to stay in his zone, block everything out, focus on what he has to do to repeat that excellent effort he did in the first lift.
So it's now down to him. So 126 kilos. Comes across to the chalk bin, the magnesium, just to make sure he's got the best possible grip. And as we are now really moving up into the heavier weight categories and the bigger guys, you'll see when he locks on for the snatch here, his arms will be almost touching the end of the bar.
And he was successful in that exact carbon copy of the first lift.
Yeah, he's got a personal best of 130 kilos. So he's within distance of that. Another 4 kilos would get him there. 5 kilos would be even better to go to 131 and have a personal best.
Yeah, great throw from the hips, perfect timing. Feet land as the arms straighten overhead.
Samoa, 127 kilos, this is his first appearance.
So 2 Samoan lifters in the lineup tonight. This is the first one, Coc Larue from Apia, 3rd in the Oceanic Championships in May of this year, when he collected 130 kilos. So starting here at 127, he's pretty close to that, and hopefully can build to somewhere like 135, 136.
Oh, he almost managed to save that. He thought he had it.
Well, he sort of really got tangled up with his feet there, lost his balance, and as a result, couldn't control the bar.
That's right, you could see that he was able to get the bar overhead quite easily. It was just managing to keep it in balance.
Yeah, that's one of those misses where you really kick yourself.
That's
right.
right.
Because you know you were sort of there, and
you did the work. You just weren't able to stop the momentum.
We love your feedback.
Has to put that bar down correctly in front of him on the platform, but only when he gets the put down buzzer.
Saxon, Gregory, Huntley, prepared.
So 127 kilos, and that unfortunate miss means that he's going to have to come in. Samara Saqqara, he's put the bar up to 130 kilos. And just looking at the next man, could be the first of the Kiwis, Saxon Gregory Hunt, looks as if he's going to come in at 130 kilos. And that's 2 kilos up for the Kiwi than he originally posted. So again, that suggests that warm-up has gone in a good way.
Now this Samoan athlete has to shake off what just happened with the first attempt, forget it, not analyze it, really focus on visualizing, imagining the lift he wants right here in front of him.
Okay. We'll forgive him the first one, but
He's
this
gotta
one,
forgive himself.
yeah, this one he must make. Ah, that's much better.
That is what he wanted the first time. It went up just as easily, but that momentum didn't have a chance of bringing him back. Solid
3 whites.
lift.
He's got another attempt coming. Loaders leave 128 kilos. 128. This is good on that increment.
Here we go. Nice, solid start. Right to the hips, throws it, catches. Excellent. Very straight arms. No problems there. And a sigh of relief.
Yeah, a little bit of happiness, but we moved from Samoa to New Zealand. We've gone south, and this is the first of the 2 Kiwis. There's manager Tina Ball alongside Saxon from the South Island, born and lived in Christchurch, which of course has had enough of its dramas with awful earthquakes. The Oceanic champion last season, total up 298 on that occasion. A man who found weightlifting when he was playing rugby at school, and then found that he rather liked it more than rugby.
And what a solid first attempt.
I'd like to see 135 for the next attempt.
Yeah, 135 should be no problem. It's nice to get that first lift out of the way, really focus on your hunt for more weight on the bar. Perfect timing in the catch. Feet landed on the floor as his arms extended overhead. Effortless.
Yeah, you can see he just has a little punch there. I'm on my way. So 130 now is the indicated third attempt for this man, Samara Saqqara. And so comes out now to try and complete 3 out of 3. Now 130 for him actually represents his personal best, so he's not trying to exceed it. He's just going to his own personal plan here. Wants this, knowing that there are men who can go 15, 20 kilos away from him. So it might not seem important at this moment, but 130 is important. And
You were right.
I'm pretty disappointed for him.
That was a disappointment because he wanted to avoid losing too much ground in the snatch. He knows he's not going to win this portion, but he really wanted to get as much as possible to set himself up for the clean and jerk. And we'll see here the replay.
is moving up from 134.
Just kicked it out in front a little bit, wasn't able to get his ears in front of his arms and save that weight.
132 kilos.
So
Samoa.
Samara and Coc Larue coming on for his second attempt, 132, 5 kilo increase, very acceptable. And Larue, who has a personal best of 135, but this is his third attempt, slightly limited by that unfortunate failure in the first attempt when he tangled his feet up. So he's had to accept that he can go no further than 132. Needs to make this, though. Same thing, really. He's got a 170 posted opening clean and jerk. So, again, damage limitation. Stay as close as I can.
And he stopped the momentum perfectly there. What a great lift.
So 132, just has to wait and see now where he is. But interesting that he's got a strong jerk to open with. Has a 170 personal best, but the way he's lifting, 185 might be well within his compass.
That was great technique, great timing.
So also working to his own series here, and the bar for his second attempt going to 134. So he will have a third attempt to go beyond 137, which again, in competition, is the best he's ever lifted. But 134, second step, 4 kilo increase.
Oh man, that was so close. He had it at arm's length. He thought he had it, but it would have been just a bit too much in front for him to hold on to. You know, sometimes when you're so powerful and explosive, locking the arms, you get a bounce back from your own elbow. That might have been what happened there. We'll have to see again.
Also in your head, when you've had such a good first attempt, you have to stay really grounded about the second attempt. Don't let it run away, or this is going to be easy.
Yes, I think he got his arms locked out, but you know, there was just so much explosive power when he did that lockout that he got a bit of a pushback.
So it is something that should be a fairly straightforward correction.
It should be straightforward, but you know what? There's a lot of emotion involved coming out for your last lift at the Commonwealth Games in the snatch portion of the competition.
Saxon Gregory Hunters from Christchurch in New Zealand. A beautiful city before the earthquake.
So very interesting. The Kiwis actually, and the Aussies, you can sort of see that they've got squads that they're really building up now. This is going to be quite interesting to watch them over the next 2, 3, 4 years because there's real talent. You know, like Matthew Madsen last night in the 77 kilos. I thought that was a really promising performance.
That's right, they're really good at lifting technically. They're great at playing this poker game that goes on behind the scenes. And you can see that their coach here is really good at keeping them focused on their next lift.
It's an amazing nation, really, isn't it? You know, when you think about, you know, rugby, and then obviously currently here, netball, rowing. It's a nation which, in terms of sport, absolutely punches above its weight. 4 million people in an island, well, 2 islands that are the same size as Great Britain.
They really do spectacular things with sport.
So Gregory, to make amends on 134, keep him there or thereabouts.
Same thing, other elbow this time though. But you know, speaking of punching above your weight, that is 50 kilos more than Gregory Hunt weighs. So we're talking about some big weights here.
And of course, this competition, obviously he wants to succeed, do his best. He has got a successful attempt, so he can build into the clean and jerk.
You can see also that he jumped a little bit behind the bar when he was pulling, which again kicks the weight forward.
But unlike his teammate, Richie Patterson, for Saxon, this is actually very much a step of education. So here we come. Petuno Opolongi, the first of the Opolongi dynasty that we're going to see here. This man who was 13th in the Commonwealth Games in 2010 in this weight class. So 135 to open.
Now that is what you want a first attempt to look like.
And if he has a good night, well, maybe his brother Nusila and Ellie, who are really successful lifters. They were successful in Delhi, respectively, in the 105 and super heavyweight women's plus 75 class. Maybe they're going to get a little bit inspired. And don't forget Tovia and Mary, they're also in the family.
That's a great catch position, and you can see that his left elbow was actually hyperextending a bit. That means it goes beyond that full extension. Their range of motion is quite extreme.
So 135, so Petunu Opolongi, he has the advantage at the moment. The bar still on 135, and this is for the arrival of Cyril Chachet, coached by Clement Mbala, comes from the capital, Yaoundé. So, representing the Cameroon.
It looked perfect, but again, momentum can be such a tough competitor, and he got taken down by momentum in that lift.
We're staying at 135 kilos.
I should say momentum's a tough opponent, actually. Correct myself there.
Bagat II of Cameroon will make consecutive attempts here. 135 kilos for his second.
Great catch position, though. If he can get that in the right spot, stop the momentum, he'll have no problem to come back and make that lift.
Well, he'll be another man who'll be following himself. He's got 1 minute and 50 seconds. Just an opportunity then to go through the starting weight. So Malek Shamoon of Australia, he's going to come in at 140 kilos. He's the lifter who's visually impaired. But if you talk to him and his dad, George, they'll have nothing of that. You know, George will guide him to the platform. Malek will go on, and he will lift. Absolutely, this is where he wants to be. Doesn't want to be in the Paralympics, he wants to be in this class, in the Commonwealth Games. 145 for Vikas Thakur of India, and with Pascal Plamondon, 147. Richie Patterson, 145 for his opener.
Just needs to stop that momentum, pulling him back, put that bar right into the position that he's clearly capable of based on that last lift. Right spot, stop the momentum.
And lighter body weight over the Samoan, who also got 135 before him, puts him into first place. And both he and Opolongi, I should say, they both go ahead of Daryl Conrad from Canada, who snatched 133 kilos earlier in the day.
It's a very great catch position, and again, he was able to control that momentum, which is the cruelest opponent in lifting.
So the bar going up to 140 for the appearance of England's Bradley Burroughs, a former gymnast who converted to weightlifting. Again, another late starter in terms of weightlifting at the age of 19. Hails from Bristol, the Empire Sports Club down there, plagued by knee problems. Keith Morgan just doing the last notes there, and a rousing cheer to my left from the party of 22, including his mum and dad, 3 brothers, Sophie, his girlfriend, et al. So first attempt, 140 kilos. Yes. And the fan club are on their feet.
Well, he certainly has pleased the crowd, and he's pleased himself. That was an excellent way to get on the scoreboard.
Just how important was that for him to get that first attempt in?
Oh, he's in a great position now.
And next to come on for 140 kilos will be the Australian. Coming in now, this is Shamoon. So George, his dad, brings him to the platform. He's now where he knows, goes down to lock on.
And his father just gave him one last cue. He said, nice pull. It's a great start position.
Tells him where he is, the 30-second buzzer.
God. Just kicked it a little forward.
Yeah.
No lift for the opener of Shamoon, 140 kilos. Motors were staying at 140, 140 kilos.
Fortunately, we have another lifter.
Yeah. Petuno Opalongi also wants this. Yeah, that bar just in front of him, but I've got a feeling that he's going to correct that second time around.
That's right. He just kicked it a little forward from his hips, pulled it to the right spot, kicked it a little forward. We're talking about a couple centimeters here. That's the difference between a good lift and no lift. It's all about precision, but I'm sure that he can be precise.
Well, he was runner-up, this man, in the Oceanic Championships this year. Went 318 for a total, contributed 138 kilos. So this 140 is a 5-kilo increase, but should be something he can manage.
Wow. No question. He managed that with no challenge.
5-kilo increase, new personal best by 5 kilos.
Training has been going well for this man, no question.
Yeah, technically very good. Let's have a look at that again. Here it is.
So through the bar from the hips and right into the perfect catch position. No need to stabilize. He had it right away. Here comes Malik, hoping to correct that small error of kicking it a couple centimeters forward.
Yeah, he's only 3 kilos short of his personal best, but this is the big test for him, really, this second attempt, as it is for everyone when you miss the opener. He waits for the 30-second buzzer.
Oh, that was much closer.
Yeah, it was the same problem, but just a lot closer to making it.
It was because you could see that he actually stalled the bar overhead for a second there. That means he was closer. And again, fortunately for this next attempt, he does have someone cutting his 2-minute wait by going out to lift on the platform.
So, Chache for Cameroon coming on, also for 140. This is his final attempt.
His cousin lifted yesterday in the 63-kilo class. Miriam Gekap.
Opalongi still leading, though, with 140. Nobody else has measured up to that. This man weighed in at 84.22, Opalongi at 84.55. So this is for the lead. And he's got it.
That is one low catch position. It is amazing to be that steady and that deep of a squat with the weight overhead.
A second, 140 kilos. We'll see more from him in the clean jerk as well. Floaters, 140.
So now Malak Shamoon needs to come on now to get this third attempt to keep him in with the other boys. Loader just putting the bar, as requested, right in the center of the platform. So, 25 years of age, member of the Summer Weightlifting Club in Sydney. Trains at home on the Olympic platform that was used in Sydney 2000. 140. Must make it. Oh!
That's what happens when you miss in front. You correct it so much that you miss it in back. But what a great effort. And you can see some great sportsmanship.
That's so tough, but unfortunately 3 failures in the first discipline means that you're not allowed to go any further. Since those individual discipline medals were taken away, like the Olympic Games, if you don't make a snatch, you can't continue. I'm just really disappointed for him because he was really tuned up. They had a good training camp. He was with the whole Australian squad. Great spirit in the camp. But that, I'm afraid, is the way it sometimes goes. So the bar's on 142 kilos for the first appearance of India's Vikas Thakur. Well, PJ Sharma and Sandip Kumari are the 2 coaches looking after him. And that's a great start.
I would say that was stealth. I didn't hear him make a sound, did you? So here we go, side view. Threw from the hips, but we didn't even hear it. So often, when someone throws a bar from their hips, you'll hear the bar make a noise, contact is made, quite a sound when the feet land. That was a quiet lift.
So India with the advantage, and now it's the man for Nigeria. A man who was watching weightlifting on television, watching the Beijing Olympic Games, and got inspired by what he saw. So Gideon, before.
Gets very low too, and with perfectly straight, solid arms.
Straight personal best. So the Nigerian weighed in at 84.04, 142 kilos lifted correctly. And compared with the Indian, he's just that little bit lighter, so he has the lead at the moment. So 143 on the bar, but Igbafo is not going to take that. They're just sorting this out backstage. So who wants 143? I shouldn't think anybody wants it. Maybe. Oh, well. Opelongi.
Third and final attempt, 143 kilos. Patterson, New Zealand, next down, please.
So Opelongi already having exceeded his previous best now. This would effectively be a 8-kilo improvement.
And a 3-kilo jump from that last lift. He's had a bit of a weight.
He's one of the men who's posted a pretty heavy starter for the clean and jerk. So again, this is important, these extra 3 kilos. We won't know how important until we get into the clean and jerk. And that was in front, but not far away.
No, you can see the power is there. I feel like he didn't set up as solidly as he did in his previous two lifts. Kind of a rush there when he grabbed the bar.
So that leaves him on 140.
Yeah, that looked like to me, even though it was in slow-mo, that he went pretty quickly as soon as he grabbed the bar. Started lifting from the ground right away. You want to make sure you're static, you're not moving before you start pushing into the floor, generating that momentum.
So Nigeria 1, India 2 in the pecking order at the moment. And it's going to be, well, I thought it was going to be Bradley Burroughs. It is going to be Bradley Burroughs. And the reason for that is that Richard Patterson has moved up to 147. And also the Canadian Pascal Plamondon on 147. Those are the two men who have not yet started their challenge. But Bradley Burroughs, now can he build on what I thought was an excellent opener? 5 kilos up from the first attempt. He says he really enjoys this discipline, arguably more than the clean and jerk.
Little bend in that right elbow there.
And you can understand that comment, Ginny, because he's opening up in the clean and jerk on 155, which is a strong indication that the snatch is his stronger suit.
So if we look at the world records, we can see that Andrei Rybakov has a very strong snatch in comparison to his clean and jerk as well. And to have that total there, we don't have a world record for him in the clean and jerk. But, you know, there are athletes like Bradley Burroughs that are just amazing at the snatch, still strong at the clean and jerk. They're just amazing at the snatch. And you can see he's very efficient getting the weight to arm's length.
Yeah, the world record, 386 from Ilya Ilin from Kazakhstan. Lifts pretty rarely does Ilya Ilin, but when he does, oh boy, you see someone to watch, whether it's 85 or even 94.
Or 105 apparently now.
Yeah.
So here he comes. He really wants to get this lift so that he has some more ground to push from in the clean and jerk.
Another England athlete is his training partner, Sonny Webster. Personal coach Andy Suter, but being looked after tonight by Keith Morgan. So, best part of a minute. And this time in front.
So close once again. We see so often one miss behind, then one missed in front.
Yeah, it's this overcorrection again.
But you know, if he said that this is his favorite lift, that's probably why, just because of what a challenge it is to do a good snatch. And he's probably really a fan of just the precision that's required.
So he's left with 140, and now a couple of big boys to come in. The Commonwealth Games silver medalist, Richie Patterson, and also the Canadian Plamondon. And what a difference. You've got Richard Patterson, seasoned campaigner at 31, 10 years his junior in terms of experience. Pascal Plamondon moving up from 77 to 85. But first it's the Kiwi, then it may well be the Canadian.
With authority. That He's really starting his competition off on the right foot.
He was chilling out in the restroom on the bench. I said, how do you feel? He said, I feel really good. He said, I've been feeling really good for quite a few weeks and months, and really looking forward to this.
And this looks really good. See, he's throwing the weight from the hips there, going right into that catch position with no challenges.
Hasn't had a day off for 2 years.
I'm sure that life in the athletes' village here in Glasgow is a lot easier than being your own business owner and training.
So, Pascal Plamondon, promising Canadian, but just how good might he be? The firefighter.
That's all right. I've said it before and I'll say it again. That first lift is often like the first pancake in the batch. Not always salvageable, but definitely the next one after it may just be perfect.
The thing about it is, you can get away with one miss, but if you're going for big money, you can't really sacrifice two. So be under that little bit of extra pressure when he comes out. Meanwhile, it's India's turn, and it's Vikas Thakur on 147 kilos. Body weight 84.11. Richard Patterson 84.34. So this is the lighter of the two, just to keep in the back of your mind. So this would put him into the lead by virtue of that lighter body weight. His second attempt.
Wow, I was sure that he wasn't going to be able to hold on to that. I thought it was going behind, but what stability. Just moved his chest forward slightly and managed to keep balance.
I'm getting more and more impressed with him.
You know what's interesting? Richie Patterson may have moved into second, but he has a 10-kilo lead according to his starting attempt planned for the clean and jerk.
Might need it.
That's a good point.
So Gideon Aigbefo for Nigeria. What do we say every night? Never underestimate the Nigerian team. .147, weighed in at 84.04. So here's a man who's even lighter.
Oh, he almost managed to hold on to that, but such explosive power.
Yeah, arguably a bit too much.
Yes, power can actually go against you sometimes in the snatch because of that precision factor.
Because you saw the speed with which that bar disappeared over his shoulders. That's a big indication of a lot of power.
Be prepared. Canada, 147 kilos.
Here comes Pascal, looking to erase the impression he left with that first attempt.
Been weightlifting now for some 8 seasons.
There we go. He was very patient with that. Waited in the bottom, made sure he had it, stood up.
And just to note that he weighed in at 84.80, which means that he has to be pretty careful with the men around him who are lifting similar weights in terms of taking the extra kilo when it really matters.
That's right. You could see there in the replay that when he caught that bar, there was a little bit of patience needed to make sure that he really had it stabilized before standing up. Now he can sit back a little, breathe a sigh of relief, and focus on that third lift, giving it all without that fear of the bomb out.
Well, the question is, can Gideon Aigbefo make a similar correction here? So he's got 142, but 147 is really what he's after. You know, I really love it when these guys come back and, you know, they take in from the coach what the coach has said. Coach has observed what the problem is, because sometimes the lifter isn't fully aware of the mistake they've made, but the coach is looking from the wings, brings them off, has the talk, puts them back on the mark to come out. This was good.
So we watch him throw the bar from the hips, and you can tell you didn't see his feet in there, but clearly great timing. Feet landed as the arms went straight overhead. Very fast bar speed. Didn't have any trouble with that at all.
So there you go, 84.04 puts him back into the lead on body weight, but now India's Vikas Thakur goes to 150. Richard Patterson, by the way, has put 151 on the bar. He's still got 2 attempts to come. So what he's looking for, Richard Patterson, is to let everybody else finish and then see where he can take himself.
This athlete here is looking to build on that momentum of 2 successful first attempts.
Yeah, Vikas, 150 is actually on his personal best mark, so can he measure up to that? Put him in a very good position to challenge for a medal in the second half, if he can do this.
He's looking very confident. With good reason. Wow.
Well, that was better than the second, but I still like the first one technically more.
Well,
but
he feels lighter, so.
Yeah, he's a player. 3 out of 3.
That's really great lifting.
Richard Patterson, New Zealand. Second attempt, 151.
So fast from the hips and so fast under the bar.
Requesting the same weight.
And you can see he's licking his lips. He's pretty happy with that one.
151, second attempt.
So Richard Patterson, 151, coming out for his second attempt. Also, Plamondon of Canada asking for 151, but it'll be his 3rd attempt, which is why Richard must come out ahead of him.
You know, Richard, sorry to cut you off there. You know, Richard is feeling good. Was feeling good coming into this competition. He's feeling even better now. He's got 2 attempts left and the highest starting weight on the clean and jerk.
Adam Story is the corner man for him tonight. Coaches himself, but on an occasion like this, you need a couple of extra pair of hands to help you in the technical side backstage. Oh, he saved it.
Big save there.
Oh, didn't he just?
And you know, there's something to be said about not being under pressure and still pulling that off.
Motors, 151 stays. The athlete changes. It'll be Glasgow.
Still has the luxury of having another attempt. He is really in the driver's seat in this competition.
Well, he goes into first place, 84 kilos 34, so he's going to be taken on by the Canadian who's heavier, but he's taking the same weight. But Plamondon isn't worried about the body weight at the moment. It's not necessary. What he needs to do is to get this one to stay on terms with Richie Patterson. Richie Patterson, well, we'll just have to wait and see what he does for that 3rd and final attempt. Oh, that's the best of the 3.
So gutsy, again, so patient. It would be so easy to just let that bar drop because it was a little in front, but he holds on, he fights, slowly puts his head through, not causing that momentum to kick the bar backwards.
Yeah, so Pascal Plamondon, one of his pastimes is hunting. That's what he's doing to Richie Patterson. He's hunting.
That's right. That is a great catch. That may have just been the ground he needs to get himself a medal.
For me, best snatch from him.
That was definitely the best one, and I'm sure that's the one that made him feel the best too.
So we have one more attempt. The bar's gone to 153. That's a 2 kilo advantage. Kiwis at the moment being a bit tactical here, buying a little time. They could make one more change. This 153 would give him a 2 kilo edge over the Canadian, and it would be useful given the fact that he's the heavier man. So is he going to play it sensible? I think he probably is, you know, 153. No. 154. Well, he's still inside his personal best, but that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's how he is at this moment in time. 154 to take a 3-kilo advantage into the second part. And that, 154 would also give him a 4-kilo advantage over the Indian lifter.
This is a huge buffer.
Big moment. Well, he had plenty of power.
That would have been nice, but you know what? Doesn't look like he'll need it with that strength he has in the clean and jerk, but that's yet to be determined.
Yeah, but the reality is, with 151 kilos, it's Pascal Plamondon of Canada who has the advantage by virtue of lighter body weight going into the second half.
Well, we promised you a close competition.
That's right, but you know, anything can happen. It's really nice to be strong at the clean and jerk because you get to decide how much weight goes on the bar for that last lift and can you chase your competitors. But again, you still have to get those 3 clean and jerks done.
So Richie Patterson there, 151, 84-34 has the advantage on body weight. I think I said Plamondon was the lighter man. My apologies for that. He's the heavier of the pair. So Patterson has the edge. Then Thakur, who's been impressive, the Indian. He's only a kilo off, so look how close that is. Aigbefo of Nigeria, light, but 147 keeps him in with a chance. And then England's Burroughs there, 140. He only made the one snatch, and 11 kilos, I think, for him is too far to make up the difference. And there's Conrad of Canada. He, of course, won the B division earlier in the day and 133 his contribution because he went on ultimately to lift 298. So when we go into the second half of the competition, the clean and jerk, 298 is the number to keep in your head until that is surpassed by some of the men in tonight's A final. And sadly there's Zeke Pullen of Nui and Marek Shamoon of Australia failed to get a snatch and have to retire from the competition.